Welcome, everybody, to the City of Film Show, Episode 4. This is Graham McMorrow, and with me is Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, the City of Film Show, of course. We're at cityofilms.com. Ryan, I ran out of steam. I don't know what to say anymore.
Let's just retire.
That's right. It's Episode 4 of 6 in the series. You're listening to this from cityofilms.com, of course. We've got a lot to get through today, so let's get right into it, shall we, Ryan?
Let's do it.
So yeah, thanks for everybody for listening. Obviously, you can contact us anytime you want, and we'll see if we can mention it on the show or bring it up in conversation if it's related to whatever we're talking about. Today, I thought we'd start off by talking about the summer movies, which is basically the summer's coming to an end here right away, especially summer blockbusters and all that. They've all come out. Ryan, do you have a summer movie that you saw that stands out for you over the past few months?
Well, I think for the most part I did pretty well this summer. I declare myself 4 for 4.
I was gonna say, I think you definitely saw more than me, I think.
Yeah. So I started it off with X-Men First Class, pretty good. I think I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5 or something. It was really good for a superhero movie and better than the last 2 X-Men movies. Horrible Bosses was hilarious. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, that was really good. And Cowboys and Aliens I saw this weekend. Good for what I expected from it. So, yeah.
You're forgetting Bridesmaids.
Oh, crap. I saw Bridesmaids at that terrible theater. Yeah. I'd say that was probably the least exciting movie I saw this summer.
I'm surprised. So Cowboys and Aliens was good. I wasn't expecting much from it.
I think that might have been the thing, is I wasn't expecting that much, and when I saw it, I was somewhat entertained. So, yeah, it was good.
But you're biased because you love Daniel Craig.
Well, he is James Bond, so.
It's true. Yeah, I saw, hit and miss here. What did I see? Well, Kung Fu Panda 2 was good. I saw it in 2D. Yeah, I don't think it did as well as the first one did. But, yeah, it was entertaining just as much. I was surprised. I saw Super 8. That was J.J. Abrams' love letter to Steven Spielberg. That was really good. I don't think I went to see anything bad. I have that radar really well set here where I can tell if the movie's going to be ass or not, and I don't want to spend $15 to see it. So like, I don't take a risk. Oh, can you imagine taking a risk on like a $15 or $17 3D movie and it turns out to be shit?
Well, I mean, here's one. I kind of tweeted about this earlier, is I really wanted to see Sucker Punch. I thought the visuals looked really cool on that. I thought it'd be good to see in theaters. And I never got around to it. But, yeah, I saw it last weekend, just on DVD, and it was pretty awful. So.
Yeah, well, it looked style-wise, it looked really good. And then obviously reviews started to come out and everything. I just thought, you know what this reminds me of? That, what was that? World After Tomorrow?
Oh, The Day After Tomorrow?
Is that the one with not the apocalyptic thing, but what's the one? Oh, Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow, that one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that one looked really good, and then, obviously it wasn't.
There was a couple like that. There was also The Spirit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, they tried to capture, the Sin City vibe, and it failed because Frank Miller apparently doesn't know how to direct anything. Speaking of Sin City, and that kind of took me to Death Proof for some reason because I could see the poster on my wall, but I didn't see Hobo with a Shotgun this summer, and I really wanted to see that.
To me,
it looked outrageous.
That was always like a DVD watch to me, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't even see a release for it in theaters.
Yeah, I think it was probably limited. It might have played in your neighborhood for a day or something. One of the biggest surprises of the summer for a lot of people, and it wasn't even supposed to be in comparison to the big superhero movies, which we'll get to in a minute, but Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I've yet to see, but I actually really want to. I've been hearing nothing but really good things about it. You had the choice, didn't you? It was either going to be Rise or Cowboys, you said?
Not to snitch on my wife, but she really wants to see that, and she was not going to be available to go with me to this one.
I see.
So I took Cowboys because she didn't really have any interest in seeing it. So.
Speaking of the superhero movies, what did we have? Thor, Green Lantern, Captain America. What else was there? There's something else.
X-Men.
X-Men, of course. It's all a blur now. It's just like they're just getting these movies out of the way so they can do the Avengers next year.
To me, the Avengers is going to be absolutely awful because
yeah, I'm not into it.
It's
like,
just,
I didn't.
it seems like there's too many superheroes. Like there's not going to be any focus on anybody. It's just going to be a smorgasbord of stupid powers.
It's going to be, and no offense to the Lord of the Rings people out there, but it's going to be like that. When I saw Lord of the Rings, it was almost like they were making a checklist of things to get out there for the fans. Like, okay, and now here come the orcs, check mark, and here come the treants, blah, blah, blah. With Avengers, it's going to be like, okay, we got to get the hammer scene in there. Iron Man's got to hit on Black Widow. It's just going to be it's just going to be a list of things it's going to be like a chore list of everyone's power, and they're each going to have a scene, and by the end they're going to be like, was Iron Man in that movie, or what did Thor do again? Because it's going to be all just meshed together. We got a few emails since the last show we can go over. One listener, Dustin, sent in a question about our music. He wants to know where the heck do we get it. So yeah, the main theme and that interlude you hear between segments, it's all free stuff from GarageBand. We can't afford real things here. But yeah, that's all free sample stuff that we were lucky enough to find. That being said, I was just going to throw this out there. If anybody has a band or knows how to play music, get in touch with us. We'd be happy to take 30 seconds of your music and use it as our theme song, or if you want to come up with something original for us with City of Films lyrics, that would be awesome.
It would be really cool if it was like a screamo band and they just screamed City of Films at the end of it. That'd be cool.
Yeah, just like, yeah, City of Films, and then we just start. Like, that's the song. The song is just the title of us. It's like cityofilms.com, and then like a big fucking drum roll, and then we start.
I like it.
But no royalties, though. We can't afford things. Kristen wants to know if we've ever walked out of a movie before.
I think I know your answer, but I actually have never walked out of a movie.
What's my answer?
I think you walked out of Spawn, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I walked out of Spawn and Flubber with Robin Williams. Okay, true story, though. I walked out of Spawn and never came back. Flubber, I did walk out, and I did go back after like 10 minutes, and it didn't get better.
Did you go throw up or something?
No, it's just, I think I took a walk. I was bored. There wasn't a lot of people in the theater. It's one of those cheap theaters that have, broken seats and drippy ceilings. But I took a walk, came back, and finished it. I don't know. I gave myself a pep talk saying like, no, this isn't the worst thing Robin Williams has ever done. Get back in there, sport, and I ran back in.
I was having a conversation the other day about Robin Williams and about some of his weird movies. Like, whenever he's a villain, it's just really creepy.
Yeah, he's always like a pretty good villain, like Insomnia, and when he's like a villain, he's like super creepy, and then when he's dramatic, he has a beard, and then like when he's funny, he's not. He's just annoying.
He's always clean shaven. I think the facial hair is like specific to the type of role he's playing.
Yeah. So Kristen and I walked out of Flubber and came back. Spawn never came back. Ryan, you said you never walked out of a movie?
No, I don't think I've ever walked out of a movie. I'm one of those cheapskates that thinks I have to get my money's worth.
I can see that. Someone who goes by the name of Skadoosh wants to know, when will we be putting new pictures in the slider game? If you're listening to this, there's new pictures in the slider game. Go to the games room on cityofilms.com and you'll see new pictures. I can never finish one of those slides. Have you been playing that game at all?
I played it. I mastered it. I'm better than you, basically.
Keyword for the contest. I know we describe the contest every episode, so by now everyone should know what it is, but if you don't, we're going to say a keyword every episode. You'll send us the keyword, and then in episode 6, we're going to draw a name, and you could win an ink job in the city strip. Kevin will draw you into a comic, and you will forever be known as the person who was in a city strip comic.
Immortalized, basically.
Yeah. So the keyword for today's episode is popcorn. That's the keyword.
So send it to us ASAP.
Yep, mail@cityofilms.com. One thing, Ryan, that we spoke about recently, you finally got around to sorting out your movie collection.
Yeah, it was a tedious task. I sat there with an Excel spreadsheet and I alphabetized all of my movies and box sets, and I put them in the spreadsheet and put them on the shelf in the correct order.
That is tedious. You know, the sad thing is that I planned on doing that for years and I never could get around to it. And then the day that my neighbor got broken into and all their stuff got stolen, it kind of like scared me into doing it. So I could not only have it all organized, but also have a list somewhere in cyberspace on the internet in my email for insurance purposes. And I just update it whenever I buy a new movie. You went by alphabet, or did you obviously separate movies and TV, and or like what about special editions? Because I know you have some like sports DVDs.
Yes. So basically, my method, I realized partway through that only I would end up understanding it, so I had to become comfortable with that. So basically, first I alphabetized everything. First I did the box sets and special editions as one, and then I did all of my movies as another. And so I have them in the same Excel spreadsheet, but under different tabs. For one, that's my advice to all of you out there that want to do this. And then once they're alphabetized, I put them all in the spreadsheet. And then when it came time to sorting them on my shelf, I started piecing together sets. For example, there's Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman Begins, which is all well and good, but then you have The Dark Knight. And while I love The Dark Knight, its title does not lend itself to being alphabetized very easily. So at that point, I just kind of slipped it in with the Batman series, and I put all the Batman ones in order of release date. So it's not really alphabetized anymore. I have like A, B. When it gets to B, it's like different Batmans in different orders.
Yeah, I couldn't. For me, when I do alphabet, I do alphabet. Like I'll separate TV and film, but if I'm looking for a Batman movie, say I'm going to look for Batman Returns, I'm looking under B. If I'm looking for The Dark Knight, I'm looking under D, as in dark. So like I don't have all the Batmans together. But you know what? Funny story. When I had less of a collection, when I was in junior high, I would say, I organized my movies one weekend. It wasn't by alphabet. You know what it was? I did it by color.
Oddly enough, I also did that once.
It looked ridiculous, like, because I say this, but it's probably not true, but looking at my shelf now, most DVD cases either black, blue, or white. So it did look, it looked like black, blue, and white was on my shelf. But again, like, say you're looking for a movie, how's that going to help you? Like, when you grow up with all your DVDs, after a lot of years, you know that, Kill Bill's yellow, or Groundhog Day is blue. Like, that comes to you, but like, somebody else doesn't know that, so you shout off to your woman, like, grab this movie from the shelf. They go in there, they're going to be in there for 10 minutes because they don't know the color of the DVD. I'm just saying, know the color, know the rules.
I agree. Basically, another thing, too, is I had all of my James Bond anthology collections, how they came in 4 volumes.
Yeah. And
then all of a sudden I have Casino Royale and Quantum of Solace, and I'm confused what to do with those.
What are they doing with Harry Potter? I don't know, like, because like we were talking about this earlier, they're going to put a DVD together with both those movies together, right?
Yeah.
But people who've already bought part 1 are going to be looking just for part 2.
Yeah, and that'll be awful.
So they better release just part 2, and they better release part 1 and 2 together for those people who didn't buy any of them.
They're going to release an offered collection of years 1 through 7, which they've already done, but with part 1 only. So they're going to release that with part 1 and 2. Then they're going to release part 2, and then they're going to release part 1 and 2 together as a collection.
If you go to stores now, try to find, and I'm not bothered by like, it doesn't, like the box or whatever, because I bet you can go to a store now and you could probably find Harry Potter years 1 through 4 for like dirt cheap, because they know like everyone's going to be looking for the master box when it comes out, right?
Yeah.
So buy 1 to 4 and then just buy 6, 7, and 8 like by itself.
The problem is that now they've released all of the earlier ones in these super Blu-ray collections. I don't know if you've seen those.
Yeah, and the Steelbook editions.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't need Dobby's face just, like, staring at me in the store.
Yeah, they try to make these things like collector's items. They're trying to capitalize on that whole thing, but that only seemed to work for Star Wars. Speaking of...
Yeah, don't get me started on Star Wars.
the Blu-ray that's coming out. Thoughts?
So originally I was kind of offended because growing up, I owned the original THX collection, the VHS tapes that had Darth Vader, a Stormtrooper, and Yoda on the sides. Do you remember those? Yeah.
I have those, yeah.
And so I bought those because that was when I first got into Star Wars. And then in 1999, George Lucas decided it'd be really sweet to basically butcher his films and add new scenes to them. And I think I was 12 or 13 at the time, so I...
This was when they first re-released it into theaters?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And then they added like that extra 2 minutes of film, which justified another theatrical release. This one had all sorts of like, they added Jabba the Hutt in A New Hope, and he was skinnier but still kind of fat, and they had just some awkward flying scenes and things that were digitally remastered, which clearly weren't part of the original. So, of course, I bought those when they came out too, right? Because I have to have the latest collection, you know.
But now they've found footage that's never been released before, and they've put together the ultimate Blu-ray for now. For now, yeah. And I am convinced that one of the bonus features will just be George Lucas just swimming in all of our money. This coin's Ryan. This coin's for Ryan. Well, folks, there's only 2 more shows to go. It's going to be me and Kevin next time. And then after that, all 3 of us for the finale, where we get a winner of the contest, and we're going to have a big feature, which you're going to hear about quite soon, because we're going to get your input, and you guys will be part of that show as well. So, from me, Graham McMorrow, and thecityofilms.com, I bid you farewell. Ryan? Good night and good luck, and I look forward to listening to the next episode with you and Kevin. Yeah, we won't badmouth you too much on the next one. Cool. And show.